Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Here's another great reminder from Punta Cana about how awesome you are.
Hi, my name is Sarah Leonard and I'm from Minnesota. As you all know, working in a veterinary clinic is very high stress, and sometimes it's emergency after emergency. And when I go into the clinic, I like to make it a very positive, fun experience. Okay, I'm going to share you my little secret on how I get into these lunch and learns. So I can't believe I'm going to tell you this, but I have clinics calling me from all over to get me to come in the door to do this feline herpes lunch and learn. The reality is that a lot of companies really suck at giving presentations, but Vetiquinol is known for having fun. And so I want to let you know how I get everybody to call me to do the lunch and learns. What I do is when I'm doing a regular sales call, at the end of the sales call, after I ask for the order, I ask them, or I remind them, oh, so you know, I do different lunch and learns, and I do derm, I do renal, and I do feline herpes virus. Feline herpes is really fun, and what it consists of is a 22-minute video, and then I talk about it briefly, and then I do a quiz. And I always whisper that, the quiz, or the valuable prizes. It's actually our calculators or whatever I have on hand, but they love it and they book it every time. I challenge you to try this from soup to nuts. What I do is I start off, of course I introduce myself to everybody on the team, and then I let them know I'm going to play a 22-minute video. I play the Bill Miller video. And then after the video, I talk about it. The first thing I say is, so what percentage of cats have feline herpes? And upwards to 90%, right? So then that's the answer. Then I say, well, I'm going to tell you about the story with my cat. And this can help you out because my cat, Tiny, is a calico who has feline herpes. However, I used to be with Butler and I had my hands in the pot all the time. I could get antibiotics whenever I needed to. And Tiny was this little tiny stray that was born under my house. And so I had little Tiny, I caught her and I brought her in the house, and she wanted to be outside. She just wanted to be outside. So then I let her go outside. And then when it became winter, we're in Minnesota, remember all the snow and everything. I had to bring her in the house in November. And in November, that's when I put up all my Christmas decorations and have fun. And I end up having my entire family over on Christmas Eve. Well, Tiny is not a social cat. She's a typical calico. And so with Tiny, she came in the house, and the first Christmas she went under the bed and sat under the bed the whole time until everybody was gone, and when the coast was clear, she came back out. Well, then, next thing I knew, she was sneezing, and she had watery eyes and everything like that. So what do? I pull out the Clavamox, put her on the Clavamox, and of course her symptoms, the Clavamox drops lasted 11 days, and her symptoms went for 14 days. So the Clavamox wasn't quite doing it, but I thought, it's good, she's better now. So then the following year, she went out, of course, all summer and everything, and then the winter came again the following year, same thing happened. I put up the Christmas tree, but before Christmas, she got the watery eyes and sneezing. She was sick. I thought it was an upper respiratory tract infection. So then I put her on Clavamox again, same thing. 11 days, lasted for about 2 weeks, and I was like, big deal, I'm gonna have to keep an investment stock of Clavamox, that's what I was thinking. Well, then the third year, I get the job with Vetiquinol. I go through the training in Fort Worth. They give me that video. I look at the video. Couldn't believe it because I got hired at the end of October. In the beginning, middle of November, then I put up the Christmas tree. Tiny and I are sitting on my bed, and she just had that look in her eye, and she blinked. And I said, Tiny, do you have feline herpes? And she said, no, I'm kidding. She didn't say anything. I immediately said, I have something for you. And so then I went out and I grabbed the Viralice because, that's the #1 medication out there. And I say Viralice because I don't say Viralis because it's too close to Cialis, and that's just, so Viralice. So I pull out the Viralice and I put a nice, 1.25 inches on her paw. What does she do first? Flicks half of it off, it went flying. I have no idea where it ever went. I'm assuming the dogs ate it. So then I left the other half on her arm and I went to work, came back like 9 hours later. It was still there. She couldn't smell it, she couldn't taste it. She can't taste anything sweet. So I Oh well, that didn't work. So then I went to the powder. Gave it to her twice a day, and in 2 days, she was fine. And I couldn't believe it because in school, I never got taught about feline herpes. Nothing was really out there. It is part of the core distemper vaccine. It's very important, but I had no idea that she had feline herpes. So then, after that, February, the treats came out, and I tried the treats. She really liked them. I stopped her. I only did it when I needed to, and then went a week later, you know, when I did everything. But when the treats came out, then I had Easter at my house. Same thing happened. I gave her the treats, same thing. 3 days, she was fine. Everything's been great. So ever since then, she's 7 years old now. I always put her on it beforehand, and then we're done. Okay, I realized that last part was kind of long, but I wanted to let you know word for word what I say during my lunch and learns, and that is how I deliver it. After I deliver that, I do pass around each of the products. I do have them taste the viral ice. I do have them touch everything, and then we do our quiz. And then the quiz is very competitive. Only one person, if I have a tie, 2 people, 3 people get the stuff. But it's competitive, and I let them, it's open book, so they take notes during the whole thing, which is nice. It's interactive, so they keep doing it, take the quiz, then I let them pass each other's quizzes, and they have to correct each other's, so it's really hard. And then everybody goes around and shares the score on their quiz, and that's it. It works out perfectly. Okay, so we challenge you, Charlie and I, that you can either go into the clinic and have diarrhea of the mouth and read off the label, or you can bring in a real story and talk about everything and capture their hearts and get the order.